Thursday Night Thunder Round 4 for Martinsville opens up in just a couple of laps. First lap here is going to be for a dear friend of Thursday Night Thunder who was a big fan for a very, very long time. Our friend Lloyd recently passed, and to start off this race, we're just going to have a quick moment here just to say a thing or two about our friend Lloyd and thoughts to his family and the whole TNT family. 200 laps on offer tonight. Ready to go green. It's Rick James and Ryan Pennell up top, ready to give you the fourth round of action. Jacob Bradley, the points leader, will start alongside Connor Knowlton from row number 1. Drivers patiently waiting for the lights. 50:07 on the front row. Round 4 is green at Martinsville. Immediately they've crashed. Ryan Pennell immediately.
Oh, the leader.
It is the leader. Jacob Bradley, he keeps it moving. The 07 of Connor Knowlton just darted right left. And the yellow flag is going to come out on that first lap. Ryan, that just came out of nowhere. But what was it? Was it Charlotte where they also crashed before turn number 1? This is the same thing. They didn't make it to turn 1 before they wrecked.
Yeah, Connor Knowlton looks like he got loose, probably spun the tires and came down and unfortunately hit the 50. But yeah, almost identical to what happened at Charlotte.
Let's go back and let's see if we can get a listen on what happened here. And I think we're having some trouble getting the race cars coming through as well, so we're going to get them to pick up also. Let's go back to the start of this race. 50 on the inside, 07 on the outside. Keep your eye on that 07. Ryan, he just spun the tires. Connor Knowlton in the 07 just lost control on the race start. And then the 50, the points leader, Jake Bradley, gets the short end of the stick. Everybody's going to come into the pits here. Nick Pressey is going to be your race leader here. I said everybody, not many are coming into the pits here. And it looks like we're going to get another lap of yellow here. So let's temporarily get our volume fixed while we can. And Ryan Pennell, welcome to round number 4 of TNT. We don't even get a quarter of a mile before some action. And we expected a lot to happen at Martinsville, didn't we?
Oh yeah, especially with 25 cars on track. I mean, this is not an easy racetrack to drive, especially with these cars. They just have so much power. It's really difficult taking off, and we saw it right there on that restart. Just imagine if we get a green flag run and we have to do a restart. Restarting on new tires, it's a little difficult. Restarting on old tires, it's a whole different ball game.
It is an entirely different game. It really is. Just trying to get the tires up to temperature where they need to be and enough to where you can actually manage to race on them. We're about to go racing again, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we've fixed our audio issues. 5 laps about to be complete. Nick Pressey from Brooklyn, New York, to the inside of the corn-fed Hoosier from Indiana. Kevin Feemster in the 1.7 DeWalt machine trying to get the jump on car at 94. Let's try it for real this time, Ryan. 195 to go. Green flag is out. Feemster doesn't get a good jump in the 14 of Tom Sears to the inside, Ryan.
Yeah, really good. At least we made it into turn 1 this time, so good job that time. But yeah, we're going to see some really good racing here. I just hope we get a green flag run here. See what we can do with these tires, and I'm also going to be watching that 50 car, see how he makes his way through the field.
14, Tom Sears, as Mellowfly just subscribes to Rick James TV, and I do apologize, it is a little bit quiet here. After last week, was it last week at Rockingham, Ryan, where the cars were so loud we couldn't hear each other? Now the cars are so quiet, I can hear too much of you. Not that I don't like you, buddy, but again,
Hey,
way too much.
yeah.
You smell what
I
I'm
know what
really.
you meant.
Yeah, talk to me, man. While I'm rambling about nothing, they're almost wrecking back here. Chris Fleming, Kyle St. John. How about the one of Aaron Edwards, Ryan? He's already got damage on the front end.
Yeah, there's several cars out here that have damage, including that 50. He's got a lot of damage on the front end from that lap 0, pretty much caution. But it seems like everybody's kind of found their way to the bottom now. This is usually when things kind of calm down for, hopefully a few laps. Now you just got to be careful. If you get stuck on the outside, you're going to get freight trained.
There's the 50. Jake Bradley just zooming by with the 07 of Connor Knowlton, the guy that wrecked him right there on lap number 1. Let's go on board with the 07. Ryan Connor Knowlton now just kindly occupying the space behind the 5-0, and this is the conveyor belt right here. It's in full effect. If we can take a look at the track from, there it is, high above, you can see half the racetrack has race cars on it, more than half the racetrack at this point, and this is what it's going to be for the remaining 190 laps, but they're in the groove now. First lap calamity, and I think everybody's calmed down and realized, hey, we can do this.
Yeah, for sure. It really is a conveyor belt. I mean, that's exactly what it is. And everybody's playing nice right now, giving each other space. Let this thing get to about 50 to go. There's no more braking as early. They're going to send it in. It's going to get a little aggressive near the end, but right now seems pretty calm.
The calm before the storm? Is that the phrase that we're looking for? How about the storm right now? The 07 of Connor Knowlton getting friendly with the rear end of the 5-1. That's Ryan Lindemann. And modified fans would know. I cannot place the name right now, but that 5-1, not a throwback, but an homage, if you will, to modified racer from North Florida who recently won in a car looking identical to this. So shout out Ryan Lindemann and shout out whoever I'm thinking of. Fans in the chat, if you know who I'm talking about, pop it in the chat. If you just tuned in, you have not missed a thing. Rick and Ryan in the booth, 16 laps underway. And how about Tom Sears, Ryan, the two-time champion, running in third right now behind Matt Seeger, the winless Matt Seeger, in a sweet-looking Dynagro machine. It's really, really early laps, but in 17 laps, what can a driver learn knowing that we're going to end under darkness with a much different racetrack than we have now?
Yeah, that's always difficult because obviously as the sun goes down, the track temp's going to change. Your car is going to handle different as well. So right now, I think the drivers are probably just kind of just riding, honestly, and you can kind of see that, just taking their time. Once it gets to be dark time, that's when the gloves come off a little bit, and they'll really start digging to try and figure out what their car can do.
So the track did not start with that much grip. I was talking to, I forget who it was during practice, but they were telling me that the track is, I think it was Kevin Feemster, was telling me that the track was pretty gripped up, and it's only going to get more gripped up, but so much so that the car is going to get tight. Now, and Chris Fleming's in the wall. Remind me of this point because I'm going to forget, but let's go to that 38 car and the M&M's machine just melting the race car alongside, and too much heat for the little chocolates on that 38. Ryan, what happened?
It looks like he's still, I don't know if he's maybe damaged, maybe broke a right front suspension, toe link or something. I know these aren't next gens, but he's still struggling a little bit. Finally gets down to the bottom, but there might be some damage on that number 38.
And there's the Riverhead native. Goes in hot into turn number 3, way too hot into turn number 3, and catches the wall with the right rear. And 3 wide out of the 4th corner as Fleming tries to regain composure. So Fleming is now the meat in the Ray Knowlton sandwich, the 07. Now trying to come up behind that 38. Let's go on board and just see what a lap might look like from the front end of one of these things. Ryan, Matt Seeger is right behind Nick Pressey, and we've been talking about when he's finally going to win a race. Tanner Lockhart's in the chat cheering him on. Emily Seeger always in the chat. This dude's #1 fan, and we know it's coming. But if he doesn't win this race, I will take full responsibility for jinxing him. He just might have the car to do it, given how early this performance is, but how strong it is. You have to think, okay, he's in a spot to win.
Absolutely. I mean, he's been so close so many times before. I mean, he kind of reminds me a little bit of Mark Martin. You know, I know Mark Martin won races, but when it came to a championship, he seemed to always just be second. And Matthew Seeger has been in second a lot, and you know that gets to you as a driver. I mean, you know you have the speed, and you just can't quite finish it out. But I think he's in a really good spot tonight. Looks like he's got a fast hot rod.
Brooklyn's Nick Pressey looking for another ARCS win. Last year at Bristol, finally the first win came for him, and it was a really, really popular win. A lot of those first wins in TNT, we've got stories about celebrating. And look at that, a little bit of love from Seeger's nose to Pressey's bumper. But Ryan, this is the next win. This is the next win when this win comes, it's going to be celebrated widely for a very long time.
Yeah, I'll still never forget the night that Cody Riggs won. I think
we
all
stayed
were
up till like 1 in the morning
yeah,
just talking about that.
It was a party, but
oh,
yeah,
man.
I mean that's just shows how hard and how difficult it is to win in this series. You know, TNT and ARCS as a whole, it's very competitive, and when you win one, it's something to celebrate.
Still plenty of race to go. Patrick Starr on the front end of that 48 sees the battle for first widen up. 16 to the inside, and the Georgian goes to the port side of the New York Pilots race car. He gets close, but they don't touch yet. Ryan, first place, might just go to the 16. Look at him. He's using up all of the racetrack to get that advantage. That looks like a clean pass for the win to me, Ryan. New leader, car 1-6.
Yeah, and that was a really good pass, and he better get going, though, because Tom Sears in that 14's been awfully fast, running some really good lap times, and they're having to deal with lap traffic, so this could be huge.
Patrick Starr will now make way for the Nutrien Ag Solutions 16, and then it's the Budweiser Chevrolet of Cody Riggs, who's caught a little bit of damage on that left-hand side. And Ryan, not only does Seeger have to get going because Tom Sears is coming, but Nick Pressey now has, I won't say free reign, but he's got a reason to use up the 16 just a little bit. Now, Matt Seeger made contact with him, but of course this is Martinsville. You expect that contact to be made, and Matt Seeger did use up more than just his lane of the racetrack at turn number 4. However, he did it cleanly. In my opinion, that's a clean pass.
For sure. I mean, you almost have to make contact to make passes here. It's unless the person in front of you messes up, drives in too deep, you know, washes up the track, there's nowhere for you really to go. And you'll see it, you know, even in the pack. If you look from high above, usually when you have 5-6 cars right behind each other, it's because that first car is just a little bit slower, but those other cars, there's just no way around them.
35 laps underway at Martinsville. If you just tuned in, you have not missed a thing. Thursday Night Thunder, round 4. At the front of this race, Matt Seeger, the leader, half a second ahead of Nick Pressey. 4/10 back is Tom Sears, the massive Boston Celtics fan. If you want to talk basketball, this is the guy to talk basketball too. The red Milwaukee Supra sits ahead of Aaron Edwards, one of our TNT rookies in that #1 Safe Light Camry. Despite the damage, he's in contention for a podium, obviously. Then we've got drivers like Kevin Feemster, our Charlotte winner, Bren Roberts. Let's look outside of the top 10, Ryan. Where do you see drivers who are going to improve when the sun sets?
Well, I was really kind of looking at Connor Knowlton and Jacob Bradley, both involved in that first wreck on lap 0 pretty much. Connor's done pretty good. He's made his way back up to 12th. Jacob, I think that damage is really affecting that car. He's down in 19th right now, and it won't be long. He could potentially be going a lap down here. So obviously some handling issues for that number 50 car.
Trying to go back to that lap where Connor Knowlton had that issue there. The 07 goes to the inside of car 24. And generations cross between race cars and positions. That's going to put the 07 into the 11th position. And Ricardo Catania now watches the Jack Daniels machine try to sail away. On board with that 24. Got these race cars turned up. As a matter of fact, next caution, we'll try and get the sound turned up. Man, you know, despite the fact that the audio is garbage because yours truly sets up the technical side of this, it's been a fantastic race so far, even despite the fact that we only had a caution on lap number 1. We've gone green since lap 5, and there's battles all over the racetrack. We're used to this now, but even at a place like Martinsville, Ryan, it's kind of impressive to see.
It really is, because I know that these cars are not handling great. They definitely get loose on entry, especially if you have your brake bias too far forward. So this is not an easy racetrack, and especially as we keep going green, there's going to just be more and more lap traffic, and you have to maneuver that as a top 5 car to make sure you don't tear your race car up. Oh, Tom Sears just dumped Nick Pressey. He's spinning.
See, that's what happens there. I think I was muted there. I apologize for those technical difficulties. Let's go see what's wrong with the 94. Ryan, thanks for calling that. There's the 14, the two-time champion, Tom Sears, losing positions all over the place. Here I am trying to fix the race car audio, and there goes Cody Riggs. Two cars now going around. We're still green. Lockhart asking about a caution. Ryan, let's go to the moment of caution, and I apologize for missing that. I'm trying to fix these muted race cars because what good is a Gen 4 if you can't hear it? But Ryan, describe to me what happened where the 14 and the 94 got involved.
Yeah, it looked like Sears just went in and drove in a little too hot. Maybe Nick hit the brakes a little sooner, and Tom just got into the 94. They both got loose, and then it looks like the 14 may have got hit, and then it just kind of spun him around.
This is after the fact. We're going to have to run this back just to see what happened. Kyle St. John almost getting a piece of this. And on my screen, Sears isn't even visible here. Let's see if we can find where the 94 would be. And on my screen, I can't even see these guys. Well, that is a shame. We're going to have to find some footage of this to see what happened. But Cody Riggs crashing shortly after this. And let's see if we can go back from Riggs' perspective and try and find just what happened in this first corner. But Ryan, it looked like the crash happened out of turn number 2.
Yeah, you could see Sears was already up in the outside wall. But yeah, I just don't know. I don't know if Sears just didn't think that Nick was going to brake as soon as he did. But just really a bummer for Tom Sears. Was running in third. Now he's in jeopardy of going a lap down.
We'll have to find footage of what happened. We'll try and get that up on at least the TikTok or the Twitter or something, because I'm really interested in seeing what happened. Both cars just blinking on my end. And again, I apologize for missing that. It's not like us that we do that. We missed a bunch of chat here. Let's go through this. Tanner Lockhart talking about Seeger's only iRacing win that he can remember came from Talladega when he turned Perrin Huggins coming through the tri-oval, and it'd be something to get it today. Landon's in the chat talking about where's Cody Riggs? Well, it's not good, Landon. He's running in 24th right now out of 25 drivers. Seeger continues to race in the lead. Ryan, we'll go back to the chat in a minute. Donald Ray and Richie Catania briefly swapping spots. Ryan Lindemann losing control into turn number 1, and Jake Bradley behind that 5-1. This whole race has been turned upside down in a quarter, in 25% of the laps being complete.
Yeah, it really has, honestly, and this is where the tires are starting to really act up on everybody. You can tell everyone's struggling way more than they were when we first started this race, and it's only going to get worse. We've had a few that have come down pit road, but not very many, because you really can't. I mean, you got to make sure you have enough fuel to be in the strategy at the end. So these cars are not handling well right now.
The Drip Diecast track backs. There's a huge crash in turn 2.
Wreck.
3, 4, 5 cars piled up. There's your caution. And Richie Catania trying to drive over Donald Ray. Richie, you cannot park there. That's another car. The 2-4 is going to drive away. There's Nick Pressey, who was involved as well, and 56 laps into this one. Looks like Aaron Edwards also involved. Caution number 2. Ryan, what in the world happened?
Yeah, I'm trying to look now. Looks like Donald Ray just drove it in way too deep. Tri-strand, I don't know. I think he was looking in his rearview mirror. He didn't slow down at all. And then Richie kind of just a bystander. Huge break for Tom Sears, though. He was about to go a lap down.
Let's see if we can get another look on this. There's Colin McDonough, who just got away with this one. And it's like you said, Ryan. I think Jacket, the 5-car Donald Ray, Jacket, for those that know, just came in way too hot on the 39. 48 also piled up. And let's see how Tristan Catania handled this one.
Not well.
Well, and not too much damage. One more look with the 48, and it's going to be an excuse to use my SpongeBob SquarePants soundboard. Let's see if we can get another look. And there's the 48 of Tristan. Watch this. Man, I've been dying to use that my leg. Ever since he crashed at Rockingham last week, I've been dying to use that button. Worth
I knew
it.
You were gonna do it.
So worth it. That was so worth it. Oh, that's going to be the highlight of season 10. 10 seasons of racing.
This is the best moment of all time.
This is it, man. This is the zenith of my broadcasting experience. It's right here. I could go on and I can call the Daytona 500, and that won't be as cool as that moment right there. Anyway, you know what's not cool is having race cars that you can't hear. Fans at home, I'm going to try and get my crap together and well, I guess not. Truck's coming back out. So, okay.
We're delaying it. Okay.
You're perfect. I'm good. Let's go. We're not going to go to commercials, so we don't have to. We're going to try and get some of these roll-off or pre-roll ads, I should say, going away here. But let's try and get these race cars back up here, man, because again, what is the point if you can't hear these gorgeous things? It's a simulator, right? It's as close to the real thing as you can get. So that's what we're going to try and make happen here. Now, Ryan, the rumor says you, me, and a lot of the guys that are racing here tonight just might end up at Martinsville, let's say, towards October.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make it because I have.
Oh, you're kidding!
I have I have an addition to the family coming in September. So
that's right.
Yeah, 1 month old. Probably not the best time to leave home and go party. So yeah, we're gonna have to skip out this year. But I know y'all have a blast.
Man, that's still pretty exciting though. New addition to the family, and of course, you got to get her the Ryan Blaney onesie, right? Like there is no other option.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He or she, we haven't found out whether it's a boy or girl yet, but regardless, they will most certainly be a Ryan Blaney fan.
Looking forward to it, man. That's so exciting. That's fantastic. All right. We've got these race cars dialed up just a little bit louder, so now we can hear them. Green flag is out. Let's go back to racing. 62 laps into this one. Briley right on the outside of Brent Roberts. 8-4, 2-9, side by side. Ryan and out of turn number 2. They're still in pace lap formation.
Yeah, that 50 car, he has made his way back to the front, now running in 5th. So just, maybe he was just waiting. I don't know. We'll see how he does. But, oh, 3 wide there, Nicholas
3
Preston.
wide in turn number 1, 2, and maybe 3. Matt Seeger gets away with that one, and the 16 car on the outside. Looks like he was the meat in the middle of that sandwich. He makes it through. At the front, Ryan, the Charlotte winner, Bren Roberts, leads the race, and I think these guys are trying to go 3 wide through the corner. Do they know they can't do that?
Yeah, I wouldn't advise it at Martinsville for sure, but hey, they made it work, so they're better than I am. Oh, Kevin Feemster's around.
17's around in turn number 4. We stay green. 1 car goes around. Now 2, 3 cars involved, and the caution's going to come out again. 3rd caution in short fashion, and the Hoosier spins it around with a little bit of frustration.
Oh, I know he's upset.
I'd be too. You kidding me? 17 keeps it pushing. Caution number 3 is out. The Charlotte winner, Brent Roberts, continues to lead. Connor Knowlton in the 0-7 runs in position number 2. How about the Virginian, Tommy Withers, in that number 60? That Winn-Dixie machine in 3rd. The points leader coming into this race, and Ryan, the cautions have saved this man, crashing on lap 0, as you say. Jake Bradley running in 4th again. He comes into this race with a 19-point advantage over Brent Roberts, who's leading. And if I'm Brent Roberts, I'm wondering how in the world does the 50 get back up?
Yeah, I'm sure that's what everyone's wondering, honestly. I mean, it looked like he was struggling back there running 19th, but I'm not sure if there must have been some strategy on that pit stop, because he was way back there in 19th. So not sure if some of these guys up front may have just taken 2 tires there. I wouldn't have done it, but obviously something changed because they all jumped a bunch of spots there under that caution.
So the race has kind of gone all sorts of different places. We can't really predict where this is going to go. I want to hear from the race leader, Brent Roberts. Brent, it's Rick and Ryan up top. You got us. Brent Roberts, Rick James in the house. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, buddy. So you're leading this race. We were just talking about the 19-point gap between yourself and Jake Bradley coming into this race. It's super early. I don't think we're anywhere close to halfway yet. We got about 30 laps here as we're about to complete lap 68. So what is it going to take from you to ensure that you can stay up front given how tumultuous these first 68 laps have been?
I think it just comes to getting good restarts. It's pretty tough to pass out here, at least when I was up in the top 5. There's a lot of good cars out here, so just keeping good restarts, making sure you don't make contact with anybody else, nobody makes contact with you, and I think you'll get a good result at the end of the day.
About to go green, buddy. Ryan, any words of advice for the 8-4?
Go get him, big dog.
I'm going to try.
We're going to let Brent Roberts go back to work. If you just tuned in, you have missed a couple of things, but that's okay. Welcome to round number 4 of Thursday Night Thunder. Rick James and Ryan Pennell in the booth, and the lights starting to reflect beautifully off of these race cars. Green flag is out, 69 laps complete. Brent Roberts in the lead, and Ryan, here we go again.
2 by 2. That's very dangerous here, but these restarts, what does the DW say? Cautions breed cautions.
Cautions breed cautions. He also said 200 miles a damn hour. Shout out to Mellowfly, who subscribed on YouTube. If you subscribe on YouTube, DW's going to come on and just scream 200 miles a damn hour, which sometimes scares the hell out of me, and it's kind of hilarious. So hopefully we hear more of that. Hopefully we stay green. Ryan, you saw the 60 car of Tommy Withers really come in hot into the 50. How about Ethan Winters? Trauma was it? Look at this, 3 wide into turn number 1. Ryan, they're all over the place, just struggling to keep it together.
Yeah, I think Nick and Matthew took 4 on that last stop because they're kind of back here. You know, obviously they were our leaders before that wreck happened, and now they're itching to get by these guys that have older tires. Oh, Steegers sent it in there on Pressy. Yeah, they're in a hurry to get up front quick.
Matt Seeger running 9th right now, goes really deep. Now, that's not the first time that Matt Seeger has sent it in deep on Nick Pressy, and he's come out clean on the other side. If I'm the 16, I'm trying not to push my luck with this guy because Nick Pressy is a well, what am I trying to say? He's a contender to win the race. And we're going again. 14, 17,
Oh, no.
Feemster's involved. We keep it pushing. Everyone keeps it moving. 14 keeps it moving. That's Tom Sears, your 2-time champion. Kyle St. Jean in the double 5 behind him. Ryan, this is looking like a late model race at the local short track, man.
Yeah, heck of a save by everybody there. I mean, that could have been really bad. Everybody got on the brakes, got a little loose, but we kept it green and still racing.
See if we can catch another look at that, but just Kevin Feemster went for a big skid out of turn number 3. See if we can watch this one more time. 14:51, 17.
Oh, 14 got almost wrecked again. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, not at all. There's so much action happening here. I don't want to break away from what's going on because I know something's going to happen. Landon saying the 17 hit him hard. Moneypenny with congratulations to the new addition to the family and says, looks like a Saturday night at the Madhouse. This is insane. Only 78 laps in, by the way. We're not even to halfway yet. Man, I love racing. Oh, I love racing.
Riggs in the 48 just spun as well. There's the
Caution is out. Cody Riggs, Tristan Catania involved. And it's another excuse to use the soundboard, Ryan. Let's see what happened with Tristan.
It is.
And again, just blinking on my screen, and I think Tristan's been blinking for quite a while.
Yeah, he just drove it in too deep, got into the back of Riggs. They both spun, and then, you know, I don't know if they really, I don't know, that's close on a caution there. I know that we have the rule of 2 cars involved. That was definitely close there.
Yeah, we got to figure out what's going on here and see what's happening.
You know, it could be your rendering. I know that, man, it's been a while since we've had this many cars in a TNT field. We're getting really good car counts this season, so I know sometimes, depending on what you have your rendering on, it'll only show like a certain amount of cars on track, but just a thought, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's some internet connection issues as well.
No, you know what? You're absolutely not wrong. So what's happening is exactly that, and I think somebody told me about this last week, and I just chose not to pay attention. So I'm gonna see what we can do to dial this up a little bit, and hopefully my computer doesn't explode. Really pushing the limits of what's possible. Well, actually, I don't know if I'm pushing the limits of what's possible. I think I'm. Well, let's find out.
Yeah, I mean, it does put a little more strain on the computer because it's trying to populate all those cars out there, but I think your computer can handle it. And hey, if not, we'll figure it out.
I tell you what, if the computer can't handle it, we'll have to make some necessary upgrades to keep Thursday Night Thunder running at a smooth pace here. For everybody that's putting up with this poorly produced garbage, thank you so much. If I haven't mentioned it already, or if you're not sick of hearing it yet, I'm Rick James, Ryan Pennell by my side. This is round 4 of Thursday Night Thunder. We're under the 4th caution this evening. And if you're used to seeing Rick James TV on a Monday-Thursday basis or a Tuesday-Thursday basis, that's going to change. We're now going Wednesdays to Thursdays, although I won't be broadcasting Rick James TV on Wednesdays. That's going to be on Aero Broadcast Network. If you love IndyCar and you love the nostalgia of the Champ Car series from the mid-90s, check them out. Wednesday night, we're going to be there at Homestead. And then next week, Ryan, the world center of racing, Daytona, baby.
Can't wait. Can't wait to get back on track.
Green flag going to come out, and let's see if we can make it to halfway without a yellow. Connor Knowlton with an amazing start. He shot out of a cannon, but Jake Bradley's now behind him. And if I'm the 50, I'm not thinking revenge, but I'm thinking I'm going to take what's mine.
Absolutely, and we know he's, probably the fastest car on track. But Connor's he's a very, very good short track racer. So he's gonna give him everything he's got.
Oh, you gotta be
Ray
kidding
crashed.
me! Chuck Sweeting and Donald Ray. Let's see what happened. Yep, the 5-7. Old Chucky Sweeting goes around, and let's see what happened to Donald Ray in that 5 as well.
Yeah, just check up.
That's exactly it. 5-7. My God, he flew into the air. No, but that's exactly what happened. They just checked up, and that's all she wrote. And as a matter of fact, it is my rendering, by the way, Ryan. Every time I cut away from the track, so I don't have that hideous display that ruins the magic of television. Trying to figure out these rendering settings. I think it's exactly that. Is that I'm only rendering so many cars, and I don't think the change will take effect until after I exit and restart, and we're not doing that. We're going to stick with you here. So, Landon being smart ass, Landon's in the chat. He goes, "What is this, Mazda Monday?"
It looks like it, kind of.
No, it really does.
He's not
He's not wrong, is he? It looks exactly like Mazda Monday. If you don't know, we just finished up this previous Monday our 4th season of our ARCS MX-5 Cup, and that is a blast because the broadcast is already poorly organized. The racing is kind of a free-for-all. It is as organized as you can for a free-for-all, but I make up the tracks and the races, and we do stupid stuff. Like we go qualifying at night in the rain at Monza with no lights. Or I think, Ryan, in Season 3, we did Concord with no lights, and that was my own fault. We couldn't see a thing, but we did it anyway. That's the kind of poorly put together fun stuff that we enjoy for Mazda Monday, and yeah, this race is kind of reminiscent of that. 80.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
And I was just gonna say that race where it was in the dark. Luckily, the Mazdas do have headlights, but I think they're equivalent to about a 10 watt light bulb because they don't help very often. But hey,
Fireflies
we're-
and mason jars.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about random stuff. If y'all are gonna keep crashing, this is what you get.
I don't mind. I'm having a good time. I might just grab a beer and get ready to go green again. This is like a Saturday night at the short track. All I need is some overcooked French fries and a $2 hot dog, and we're in business, man.
Oh yeah, Martinsville hot dog, man. They're world famous.
I'm excited. I'll tell you what is one of the things that I've enjoyed, because we've been to where? Talladega, Darlington, Atlanta is... Yeah, the Talladega dirt track, I was just going to say this as we're about to go green here. The Talladega dirt track has some of the best fried food I've ever had, bar none. Maybe the atmosphere has a lot to do with it, but that's some really good fries over there at the Talladega dirt track. Two, 3 wide through that second and third corner, and Ryan, we're going to get back to fried foods here in a minute because now I'm hungry. These drivers have learned nothing. Look at this, the 60, the 29 leaning on each other, and the Winn-Dixie and the Good Wrench machine trying to scrape whatever paint remains on these race cars. And Ryan, let's go on board with the 24 here, but tell me, is anything going to change for the second half of this race?
Oh no, it's just gonna get worse as they get closer to that checkered flag. Everybody's gonna lose patience, and it's not gonna get better. It's gonna get worse, and I think we've already started to see that, but you'll see it here in the next 10, 15 laps.
It just seems like everybody sort of gets in a groove, and for lack of a better phrase, they do just forget their manners, though, don't they? The 07, Connor Knowlton, still leads this race. Jake Bradley.
Withers is around.
And 3, 4, 5, they continue to pile up.
Holy smokes, that was the whole field.
That was half the field coming out of turn number 4 here. Let's see what we can do to check this out. This is the 5th caution of the evening. Very unlike Thursday Night Thunder. And we're going to have to make a change here before we cross this 100th lap. Let's see what happened here. This is on lap 92. Aaron Edwards in the 1 car. And Ryan, we were just saying, these guys have learned absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. It's just people driving it in too deep, and then it won't stick and make contact. And that was just a really bad spot, and everyone behind them just couldn't see it. And just a big checkup. Nobody wants to slow down.
Vorndren TV goes, it's Moon Car.
Yeah, I wish we had the viewership that Moon Car had. That'd be awesome.
We'll get there one day. We'll be all right. We'll be fine. Someday soon. I want to check this out though. I want to let's see if we can slow it down. Ryan, I might be crazy, but this almost looks like netcode to me. I could be super wrong. No. Oh yeah, definitely not netcode. I'm super wrong. 60 just gets loose here and gets around in front of the one. Landon asking how many fast repairs in these races. They get one fast repair. So we're going to go ahead and take a short break here just to see if we can get ourselves settled. Just a 30-second break. Don't go anywhere. And the benefit is we're going to have these pre-roll ads delayed for a while. So don't go anywhere. Back in 30 seconds, and we'll try our very best to have more green flag TNT racing. Grab a drink. See you in half a minute. .97 laps about to be complete at the paperclip. Jake Bradley in the 5-0 to the outside of the 07, Connor Knowlton. And same as the start, but the roles are reversed. Ryan, Jake Bradley looking for the jump in the 5-0. Green flag is out, 1:03 to go. Ten going around in turn number 3, Ryan. And more cars being collected. 16, 14, 38. Catania again. And Ryan, when DW said cautions breed cautions. Hey, there we go. Ryan, you got me now?
Yes, sir.
I'm so sorry. I was talking to dead air there for a moment. So the cars are crashing, and our technology's not so good either. But when you said earlier, you were quoting DW, cautions breed cautions, man, you were not kidding.
Yep, everybody's just getting impatient now, and it looks like because of how you have to run the brake bias, when you see a crash in front of you, your initial reaction as a race car driver, if you have half a brain, is to brake, and you hit the brakes pretty hard. When that happens, it forces all of the brake pressure to the front of the car, and it takes all the weight off the back of the car, and the car spins. And that's exactly what you saw there. Tom Sears, somebody else, I couldn't see the number, but they stab the brakes, car gets loose on the back end, and it just spins right around.
And it's difficult. We crossed the halfway mark here, so we're now on the back 9 of this. It's difficult to get a feel for what it's like unless you have a rig, you know, unless you have that seat with the wheel in front of you, and it's really, really, really difficult. So for those that, if you don't do sim racing, or if you're not used to racing with a wheel and pedals, genuinely imagine trying to do this in your own cars. The setup is almost identical, and with how heavy some of... And Ryan, is that the right word to use when we say heavy? Just how heavy it is to turn the wheel one way or the other in these race cars that are simulated to weigh, what, 3,800 pounds?
Yeah, and you know, most everybody out there, you know, obviously everyone has different setups. You know, some people have a lot of money in their setups. Some people only spent a couple $100. But most of the wheels that we use have force feedback. Some of the pedals that they use actually have force feedback in them, so you can actually feel when the car starts to get loose or when it kind of loads the front end. You can feel that in your wheel and maybe even pedals. So when we say it's a simulation, I mean, it really is. We have people that have spent a lot of money on this, me included, to make it as realistic as possible. And there are a lot of times where it definitely feels very realistic.
Spent a lot of money on this just getting the racetracks, man. I bought Sebring last night, and don't get me wrong, I love iRacing. We've said this before. I can't give it up, but there's a lot of money that goes into this. We're not screwing around with this. So genuinely, when we spend this much money, it's because we want to do this and we want to continue to race like this. Green flag is out, and the simulation continues. Connor Knowlton out ahead of Jake Bradley. Brent Roberts, Nick Pressey wrestling for third, Ryan.
Yeah, Pressey's done very good tonight. He's been consistent. That's something that he has struggled with in the past, but doing really good tonight. Still up there in the top 3.
If you just tuned in, thank you so much for being a fan of Thursday Night Thunder. If you've been with us since lap 1, thank you for sticking with us through the first 100 laps. How about the next 95? I'm ready. Pressey on the outside of that 84. This is for the bronze medal thus far. And...
we're wrecking again.
Again, where are we, Ryan?
Rig. Oh, caution didn't come. There it is.
There's the yellow. Ryan, who wrecked?
It was Elric George and Cody Riggs.
Let's go back and see if we can find what happened to the Bahamian. There he is. And let's run this back around. And this may be another and Ryan, this is going to be another rendering issue where we're not going to see him here. And again, fans, my apologies. 100% my fault. We're going to make sure that we're better and we have all the cars showcased so we can show you all the drama that happens. But next week at Daytona is probably going to be the same drama on a much larger scale.
Oh, yeah, much faster, too. But I'll sum it up for everybody. Somebody hit the 40 spun out. 40's not happy over the radio. This is the point where tempers start to flare too, so I'm excited.
And I think at this point, Ryan, as a driver, you're tired. You're tired, you're a little bit cranky, and you think, you know, we're only halfway through this. How many more cautions are we going to have to endure?
Yeah, I mean, most of us have jobs. You know, we don't do this. We don't make money doing this. Trust me, I've tried a lot of times and I hadn't figured it out yet. So, I mean, you go to work and you work all day and, you know, probably upset about something that happened at work. You get home, you know, eat dinner, get on the rig, and then, you know, you get drove through, and yeah, it's not a good feeling at all.
Grandma Jeannie in the chat cheering for Briley Wright. And whoever you're cheering for, let me hear it. Put that in the chat, whether you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, anywhere else. Put your favorite driver's name in here.
You know, I just want to shout out the 10 car. That's a good looking scheme.
Like that Smithfield?
Smithfield? Yeah. Oh, man. And, you know, I know he's a new driver, but, man, hell of a run he's got going, running in 6th right now.
You know, Ethan Winters?
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
About him. No, I'm just saying we hadn't talked about him, and there he is, kind of just lurking.
He's up 13 places from where he started. You know who's also up 13 places from where they started? Briley Wright in that 2.9. The Bluegrass Bandits trying to do it again, and he's flying the flag for those Kentucky pilots. Great-looking race car there. We're going to talk about some of these paint schemes and how you can own some of these paint schemes yourself later in this race, and you all know what I'm talking about. Shout out Diecast and Collectibles, the folks that keep us going. We'll talk about them later. We've got 90 more laps of racing to enjoy. Connor Knowlton has control of the field. Green flag is out, and let's try it again.
You know, it's so interesting to me, and this is a professional move. Jacob Bradley waits for Connor Knowlton to go so that he can get on the bottom. Just genius level. Oh, Chuck's around.
Chucky Sweeting in the 57, not so sweet. Matt Seeger also involved. Ryan, you know when I said I didn't want to jinx him at lap 25 when I said he had the chance to win this race?
Yep.
I jinxed him.
Did it.
I absolutely jinxed him. 9th caution. When in the hell is the last time TNT had 9 cautions in a race?
I don't know. We should have put a bet on DraftKings before this thing started.
Can we
Over,
get,
under
yeah,
on cautions.
DraftKings, Fanatics, MGM, whatever new casino's going to, if Bally comes out with a casino app or something, can we get some odds on Thursday Night Thunder? That would be, you know.
I think that'd be awesome. I would lose a lot of money on that. I mean,
can you
sign me up?
Can you imagine betting your actual money on iRacing? That is
$20 on Briley Wright to get a top 5. Pays out $200.
I'm going to open my FanDuel app or my Barstool app, and it's just going to give you odds. You know how it shows you the category of sports? NFL, MLB, soccer. Just NASCAR. It has the checkered flag with NASCAR. It's going to have a checkered flag and say TNT underneath, and you get to gamble on sim racing.
That'd be amazing.
If
I feel like that's illegal, but I don't know. I'm not really sure.
Oh, it's probably super illegal in a lot of places. However, look, if it's not illegal in some places, and Ryan, if by some, it makes me laugh because it's a ludicrous thought, but if by some amazing miracle a sports app wants to give us betting odds and put our racing league on their app, Ryan, as long as you and I get a cut of whatever happens with that, I would be okay.
Oh yeah, I'm in.
All
we
right.
have a bet on how many times you say the word tumultuous in a night, because that was a word that I didn't know until tonight. So you're making me smarter.
But look, we're getting higher views this season. We're 10 seasons in. We're getting more views. We're getting more numbers. We got to start using more expensive words. I'm going $2 and $3 words, man.
I'll leave that up to you. I'm gonna stay with the small, tiny words.
You go ahead and stay with that because I stammer so much that the small, tiny words get me. The long ones I can handle, but there's not a lot of long, scientific words that you can put into NASCAR sometimes.
That's true. You can do like Kevin Harvick and just work in a modern phrase every week like he does. Oh, they called it off.
115 laps will be completed under the yellow flag. I'll tell you what, you know what I would do is, speaking of those sports gambling apps, if they want to sponsor us or host us on any of their competitions, and any of their apps, that's an idea as well. You know, what if we could get sponsored by the dictionary? Merriam-Webster Dictionary sponsors us, or the Oxford Dictionary sponsors us, and we have to do the word of the day, and the word of the day is going to be tumultuous, or in this case, friction, talking about who's going to lose friction spinning the tires on the start of the race. Season 10, baby. We're thinking out of the box here, Ryan.
I'm all for it. Green flag.
Let's go, baby. Ren Roberts with a fastidious start in the 84. How's that for a $2 word? The one car of Aaron Edwards gets into the number 2 position. Ryan, I think that's the highest I've seen the one car tonight.
Yeah, he's been fast all night, just hasn't been in the right spot. Now he's there. Oh, Thomas Andrews almost gets turned. Now he's going to hit
lose
50.
it? Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Oh, that's going to be a caution. They're still wrecking back there.
All right, let's do this. Ryan, I need a beverage. I'm sure the fans at home at some point need to take a break too. Let's reset for a moment. Let's take a 60-second break. Fans at home, it ain't nothing going on. We're not going to miss anything. Shout out to the folks at Drip Diecast and Collectibles that keep us running. If you love some of these paint schemes that you see out here tonight, check out Drip Diecast and Collectibles on eBay. They are your #1 eBay store for all sorts of NASCAR memorabilia. That's Drip Diecast and Collectibles on eBay, your #1 eBay store for all sorts of NASCAR memorabilia. We're going to take a 60-second break. Ryan, I need a drink and a snack. I'll see you in a minute, bud.
Yep, I'm going to get me a Martinsville hot dog.
Let's go. About to go green one more time. 122 laps of the scheduled 200 underway. Ryan Pennell and Rick James in the booth. This is Thursday Night Thunder round 4 from iRacing's Martinsville Speedway. Ryan, this is going to be our 10th restart of the race. Bren Roberts with control of the field. Pressey on the outside. Connor Knowlton down to 5th. We're racing again. Clean out of the second corner, Ryan. Bren Roberts trying to pull away.
Yeah, you got a good jump on Nick. Nick just fought. Oh, the 38's around, but we're going to stay green. It was just one car. Good job by the 38 staying out of the way of other cars there.
Ryan Lindemann up 19 places from where he started. Car 51 on the cusp of the top 5. And Landon says green one more time. I know it's one more time. We're going to keep on going green until we finish this one. You better believe it. And we got 3 green-white checkers. You know we're going to use them.
Absolutely.
Roberts goes green, Ryan, 1951, his personal best. And this 0.6 of a second gap is the largest we've seen in what feels like ages.
Yeah, that's a smart move because I think he's kind of banking on there's probably going to be a couple more cautions. So tire wear really not an issue if you're running them all under yellow.
Drivers spreading out, drivers settling out. Knowlton in the 07. Behind that one of Aaron Edwards, Tom Sears in the 14 sits ahead of Jacob Bradley. And how about some space for the top 8 drivers? Ethan Winters in that slick Smithfield machine to the left-hand side of Matt Seeger. St. John trying to open the door for 10th, Ryan.
Yeah, and everybody's kind of gotten into a groove here, so that's good. Oh, Riggs sent it way deep on Richie Catania there, but still green. Everybody's kind of, like we said, they're kind of in a groove now, so hopefully we can get a green flag run here.
Aaron Edwards in that one car up behind Nick Pressey in the 2. The leader, Bren Roberts, still 6/10 away. Ethan Winters goes green, Ryan, 1954 on the board. This could be a trend now that everybody has had time to spread out. The track has cooled down. And closing now, TV just subscribes. And there's my favorite Darrell Waltrip noise that scares the life out of me every time. And Brink subscribes again. Anyway, Ryan, while I'm distracted here, St. John going into Matt Seeger for 10th.
Yeah, really good battle, and you can tell just I'm looking at everybody's lap times, everybody running faster than they pretty much have been all day, obviously because track temp going down, there's also a little bit more grip in the track since they've been running around for 130 laps, so everybody got some speed out there here at Martinsville.
And that's Cody Pennell that just subscribed 5 subscriptions right there. That's what all that noise is. Someone just went around, Ryan. I heard those tires squeal. Looks like Cody Riggs, who went super hot into turn number 1. And Tristan Catania now in that 48 goes way too low. He jumps over the curb. What is he thinking? And the 17, and they've bunched up right there. Catania goes around again. And caution number 12, 11. We haven't hit the dirty dozen just yet. I bet we will. Exactly.
Yeah, we will.
I bet you we will.
You know what's crazy? That Cody Riggs, I don't know if he meant to block Tristan Catania there, but he threw a mean block there, and that's why the 48 almost hit the wall on the inside, trying to avoid running into the 3. I'm not sure what happened there, but that was pretty crazy.
All right, let's go back and see what happened here, and this will be another excuse to use the SpongeBob soundboard, but Tristan Catania just sailed over the curb, and then gets turned around. It's amazing to me the hold that SpongeBob still has on an entire generation.
Oh yeah, SpongeBob will never go away.
That's the greatest thing in the world. If only I could find that soundbite where Patrick starts screaming in pain or something like that. Oh, you know what? Here's a good one. Let's get another look on Tristan Catania. And then just punted by the number 2.
Yeah, I don't know what the 48 was doing. I think he saw the 17 and lifted, and then the 3 was up in the wall, so Thomas Andrews was trying to avoid the 3, and it's just everybody came together, unfortunately.
Aaron Edwards being scored as the race leader, Connor Knowlton in that second position, and the points leader, Jake Bradley, sitting in third, and what started as a disastrous round 4. For this guy right here, Jacob Bradley, has turned into what could be another lucrative points day for Jake Bradley. Here's the start of the race. This is an hour ago where we waved off the caution. Let's try this again. Here we go. Check this out. Keep your eye on that 07. He's going to spin the tires. And right into car number 50. Nick Pressey got a piece of that one too. And now we're about to restart this race, Ryan. And the points leader sits comfortably in third. Jokes aside, SpongeBob soundboards aside, all of that stuff. We're getting into the last 60 laps of racing, and this is where the competition has to get serious for those that intend to win a championship.
Absolutely, and this is where people are going to start getting really, really impatient if they haven't already. So hopefully we can stay green, but there's going to be a lot of drivers trying to make their way to the front.
Emily's living for the SpongeBob references. Me too. I really am. That's, like I told Ryan earlier, that's probably going to be the highlight of my broadcasting career. Elrich George has a damage number 40. Colin McDonough almost gets into the 24 of Richie Catania. Ryan, they're spreading out back here. They still survive. And excellent drivers like Briley Wright sit in 19th. still on the lead lap. But look at this, 3 wide. Wright's going to have to fight over these next 60 laps if he wants to finish even in the top 10.
Oh, Chuck's around, Nick's around. I don't know if they're going to throw it. Looks like we're going to stay green.
Chuck Sweeting makes it just fine. And he's going to be able to spin it around, and we are going to stay green. At the front, Aaron Edwards ahead of Connor Knowlton by 0.3 of a second. Jake Bradley in third. How about Tommy Withers in the 4th position? Ryan, consistently in the top 10 all day.
Yeah, he's sneaky fast. I mean, he's one of those that he's not going to show off with speed. He's not going to be, just flat out, but man, he is consistently just always just kind of sneaks in there. I mean, he finished podium at Charlotte, and here he is having a great run again tonight.
A little bit dark out here, trying to see if we can bring a little more brightness into our racing. 143 laps underway. Landon says 87 car for the win. I'm calling it 60 laps early.
Yeah, and Patrick Starr just wrecked again. But just
Ryan, I'm thinking, who in the world is the 87 car? He's got to be talking about Brent Roberts in the 84. You said Patrick Starr went around again. Let's go check him out.
Yeah.
Still in one piece for now. I get a kick out of that race car. That just makes me laugh. But back to more pressing matters. How about the race for the lead? It's half a second apart. Further on back, St. John on the outside of Feemster. These are 2 Tauruses fighting for 7th, Ryan.
Yeah, and they're, I know Feemster's probably a little upset. He's been wrecked a couple times tonight. So sometimes a upset race car driver becomes very, very fast. And it looks like Feemster's got some speed in that number 17 machine.
You finally calm down. Once you get that speed, you know that your night has gone terribly. You feel like you suck, but when you finally string some laps together, do you kind of calm down and you feel your mood lightening almost instantly?
Not really. I don't, but I mean, I'm sure maybe some of them do. But yeah, no, we don't forget very much as race car drivers.
To confirm Landon's question, Connor Knowlton is the 07. And coming into this race, Ryan, Connor Knowlton doesn't find himself anywhere in the top 15. So while his championship may not be geared towards a high finishing position, his race is at least geared towards staying behind Aaron Edwards. He's one of the rookies that has impressed wonderfully this season. And there goes the 24 of Richie Catania. The DuPont Chevrolet goes around again. Aaron Edwards is in a tie for the 7th position coming into this race and has a chance to win his first ever Thursday Night Thunder event. Ryan Ritchie keeps it moving. He's in the top 20 so far. Let's go back to St. John and Sears, Ryan. This is for 8th.
Yeah, this has been a really good battle. I've been watching them. I mean, we know Tom Sears, very, very clean race car driver. But he's got Nick Pressey behind him. He's going to make the move and pass St. Jean. Now he's got to set his eyes on that 17.
Kevin Feemster been all over the place tonight. You really hope that he ends up finding a little bit of fortune. And it's not that he's not capable. He's just gotten the short end of the stick every single time. And the Walt Chevrolet runs in 7th right now ahead of the 2-time champion. Further on back, Briley Wright, remember, we said he was going to have to scrap to get his way up here. He's up to 14th so far in the 2-9.
Yeah, and he is pushing hard, trying to get around that 51 of Ryan Lindemann. And just the words, DeWalt Chevrolet, that you just said. Oh,
did I say DeWalt Chevrolet?
Yeah, I think you did, but it definitely made me shiver a little bit.
I probably did. Somebody run the tape back. I probably said DeWalt Chevrolet. It has been a long night. We're in the final 50. I'm ready to go home. We'll see what happens. Ethan Winters running in that 4th position. How about this rookie? He's up 15 places from where he started. He didn't even start the season in round number 1. I think he started the season last week at Rockingham. He's ahead of the Charlotte winner, Bren Roberts. Ryan, looking at the top 10, St. John, Withers, Roberts have been consistently up here. However, where did Aaron Edwards come from? Because although Aaron Edwards was consistently in the top 10, we haven't seen him this dominant. He's leading and pulling away.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely saw he had some speed early on. He just kind of was in the wrong place at the wrong time several times. And now, I mean, once you get that clean air, it is a whole different ball game. Your car handles differently. So good for him. He's got a good run after having some issues early on.
6th through 8th. Tom Sears, Tommy Withers, Nick Pressey fighting for those spots. Withers going to give way to the 94. Kevin Feemster running in 9th might join this scrap. Tommy Withers is going to leave some paint on the front stretch wall. And now the DeWalt Ford and the Winn-Dixie Ford will fight.
Around.
Not anymore. There goes
around.
the 60. He's lost it. Tommy Withers just trying to recover. It's one car. He makes it through. And we keep it green. And the Winn-Dixie Ford is staying out, battling with Ryan Lindemann. But Ryan, he took a hard hit. I'll be surprised if he's not forced to come in to fix something.
Yeah, he hit the front end pretty hard too, and that's usually one of the weaker points of this car at least. But you know, I was kind of wondering. I didn't see. Maybe you said earlier, but what do we know what a fuel run is on in these cars?
I guess it's between
I wanna
60 and 70 laps. However, I could be extremely wrong.
So that's interesting because Aaron last pitted on lap 94. So I don't know. I mean, I think he'll be okay, but he's definitely, it might be close for him.
There's a very good chance that I'm wrong. Just extremely great chance that I'm wrong. So with that, I will be astonished if we make it the next 40 laps green to the end. But if we do, Aaron Edwards is looking to go 106 laps on a tank of fuel. Not just a tank of fuel, but tires. I don't care how many caution laps you run. Pitting on lap 94, going a few cautions and taking them to 106, they're going to be shredded by the time the race is done.
Absolutely. And Bryn Roberts is obviously running third right now. He last pitted on lap 134. So if they can get, let's say 60 to 70, he's close to being able to make it. So that's something I was just thinking about. I knew, you know, fuel obviously an issue here. Some of these drivers may not be able to make it to the end, like you said, if we stay green.
That's a big if, isn't it? That's a huge if. How about Nick Pressey? He hasn't pitted since lap 85. I'll give you this, and here's how I know that Connor, that you can go more than 100 laps on fuel. If I'm reading this right, Connor Knowlton hasn't pitted since lap 56.
I think your information might be wrong, but
it has to be, right? My SDK
Well,
could be screwed up. It really could. But
yeah, I have Connor last pitting on lap 112.
okay,
so.
then my stuff is really screwed up. What does it say for Aaron Edwards? I see him last pitting on lap 94.
I do. That is correct. I have him on 94.
I've got Brent Roberts at 135.
Yep, 134. So maybe some of your stuff's right, some of it's
Some
wrong.
of
Who
my
knows?
crap is outdated. Okay, I will happily take that. He pitted on lap 112, so I there's a chance it could be right. It's not a big one.
Hey, we're just making it up as we go out here.
No, we're not number people. Math, it will never be our strong suit.
Nope.
Landon's actually talking about this race. He gives a damn. He says, if we go off fuel, I think the dude who won Monday taught us the facts aren't always factual. I think he's talking about Jimmy Kerr III, who's not even in this race to begin with, Landon. But that's okay. We've got, what, just over 33 laps to go? Let's go further on back here. The Thomases are at battle, Ryan. Withers versus Andrews.
Yeah, Withers' car really struggling once he hit that wall. Not only damage, but when you slide these cars, the tires, they heat up a whole lot. And you wear the tires way more than, obviously, if you keep the car straight. So he's struggling right now.
Shout out Larry Eberhard, who does not stop fighting. We have not mentioned his name once tonight. Every race this season, I think he's given his very best to finish. I know he's given his very best to finish. Larry Eberhard is a rookie in TNT. Doesn't say too much, but he shows up and he's reliable. And given, I love that fighting spirit, Ryan, like that never say die attitude. I see that in Larry. Like if you're gonna come at Larry, you better knock him down and keep him down, because Larry does not stop fighting. And I'll tell you what, if he keeps this fight going, he might find himself in the top 10 before tonight's over.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's kind of how I always was when I was driving. I never gave up, because you never know what's going to happen. I mean, you may have 5 people in front of you wreck out and you gain 5 spots. So yeah, you never quit. As long as there's 4 tires and wheels on that race car, keep driving that thing.
That Mamba mentality, you bring that to the racetrack, you'll be all right. Tommy Withers comes down into the pits on lap 170. He finds himself in the 17th position at the front of this race, about to complete 172, I'm sorry, completing 172 laps. Aaron Edwards. And how about cousin Cody? Shout out Cody Pannell, who gifted out 5 subscriptions on Twitch earlier today. Love that guy. Unbelievable. He says, Ryan is the poster child for never say die. Cousin Cody coming in with some love. Shout out to the family back down there in Georgia. And Ryan, we've got a quarter to go. 25 lonely laps remaining, following the lap after next. Tom Sears is in this top 5, kind of getting up Jacob Bradley for that 4th position. That 50 car, maybe Martinsville finally might be his match.
Yeah, I mean, we talked to him last week, and he said he had never driven this track ever in anything. So we knew it would probably be a struggle, but we also know he's a very talented race car driver, so he's right there, and he's got a shot at this thing. I'm just glad we finally got a nice, long green flag run.
I almost didn't even notice. So much has happened tonight, I almost didn't even notice. But yes, this has been an extremely long green flag run. If I'm looking at my stats here, I think we restarted on lap 137, 38? No idea.
Sounds right.
135. So we're on 176 now. So this has been a 40-lap green flag run. And shout out to the drivers, because, of course, Ryan, I think I'm not a patient person. And when things go belly up, when we have a lot of cautions, I get impatient and I want green flag racing. So shout out to these guys who really did turn it around. And I think we're going to have a successful 23, 22 laps to the end of this one. And here's how you know that the drivers have finally spread out. One, there's less cars on this racetrack to finish this race. But number 2, there's minimal battles that are just a few tenths apart. I'm still looking at 10th with Kyle St. John and Ryan Lindemann. Thomas Andrews and Briley Wright are a quarter of a second apart. How about Bren Roberts and Connor Knowlton, Ryan? Half a second apart.
Yeah, and I think just from what I'm seeing from the 50 and a couple other cars, I think they're saving. Jacob has obviously been very, very fast all night. He's about 0.2 off of what Tom Sears and the leaders are running, about 0.4 off, honestly, from Aaron and Bren. So I think he might be saving a little bit here fuel-wise. So I think we could be looking at some drivers having a pit before the end of this race.
2:0 to go, will soon become 1:9 at the line. Lawrence Eberhard, the 4th, will pull off the racetrack and make way for Brent Roberts and the 07. Shout out Larry, always a gentleman. The BB&T machine gets to the inside of Richie Catania, who's pinned it alongside the wall. Car 24. Now everybody trying to scramble around him. And Ryan, this is where it begins. And it's no fault of Richie's. He's staying out of the way, doing his thing, minding his own business. But when drivers try to go around him, this is where we get stacked 2 and 3 wide. And Richie again in the wall. We'll see if everybody makes it around him. And they will. And breathe. 17 laps to go.
That's what's terrible about, well, not terrible. It's kind of, oh, wreck. Oh, Withers.
There it is.
Sweeting.
Chucky's
That's got to be a caution, right?
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
It is. Good call, man. 16 to go this time by. Chucky Sweeting in the 5-7. spinning it around, and same shout out, same love to Larry Eberhard, to Chuck Sweeting over there, because I think Chucky's gone around 4 or 5 times tonight, and if it were me, Ryan, I would have said, screw this, I'm going home. And Chucky Sweeting's still in it, so he's got more bravado than I do.
And now the fuel strategy is gone. Everybody's gonna pit. So no more saving fuel. We're gonna go all out to the end.
We're going all out to the end. 16 laps to go. Fans at home, don't forget we've got 3 green-white checkers, and we will use them. The one of A.A. Ron Edwards comes in as the leader. Stay tuned, because we're going to see if he comes out as the leader. We're going to take a 60-second break, and we're going to be back for what we hope will be the final 14 laps of competition. TNT Round 4 is only getting started. We'll see you in 60. Caution's just been waved. Ryan, we're going to go green with what will be a dozen laps remaining. Connor Knowlton on the inside of A.A. Ron Edwards. Like you said, everybody has fuel. Everybody has tires. I think 1st through 13th all came down on lap 184. And
actually, Connor stayed out, so I don't know how this is going to work for him, but good luck to you, young man.
When's the last time this man pitted? 112?
112.
It's 187, so that's what, 75 laps on these tires, 75 laps on this fuel, and he's got another 12 to go. I don't know if he's got 6 miles in the tank, but we're about to find out, and it may not all be under green. Ryan, who do you got a dozen laps to go to win round 4?
I'm taking Tom Sears. I think he's got this thing.
2-time champion in the 1-4 Milwaukee Supra. He sits to the inside of Nick Pressey. He goes wide out of turn number 2. 94 car tries to stay out of everybody's way. 2, 3, wide, and then some. Coming to 11 laps to go. A.A. Ron Edwards leads the 07. Ryan, where does Connor Knowlton make his move?
I think these tires that he has on his car, I don't think he can make a move. He's just defending right now, trying to stay as high up as he can.
On board with the 1-4 of Tom Sears, trying to move Connor Knowlton out of the way. He's getting a little bit closer
Seeger's
to the
around.
back end, and it's Seeger in the 16, the 4 car, the 38 of Fleming, getting sent out of turn number 4, caution number 13, and we will restart inside the final 9 laps of competition. Ryan, talk to me. What started this one?
I think the 16 may have had some help from behind. I couldn't tell who it was, but just unfortunate, man. He's gonna catch a break one of these days.
Oh, the 10 car of Ethan Winters sends it in really deep on Matt Seeger, and then everybody checks up. The 38 of Chris Fleming almost gets, well, he does get lifted into the air. The rear end gets lifted into the air. See if we can have another look, but that was something. Watch the 10 car, Ryan. And I think Winters just overestimating what his car could do. Chris Fleming checks up, tries to get out of the way of Richie Catania. Look at that. Nick Pressey, Tommy Withers. I think Lindo got involved as well.
You could see the 10 car, the left front tire actually stopped turning. That was a really good shot you had just a minute ago. You could literally see the left front completely stop turning, which means he had completely locked up. And at that point, you're kind of just along for the ride.
Bren Roberts almost coming to a halt. He makes it through that. One more look. Let's see if we can find out Ethan Winters. And let's see if we can get a closer look on that 10. Watch the left front tire. Yeah, you can read the Goodyear Eagle on the left side of the tire, couldn't you?
Yep, he was on the brakes so hard, and left front just completely locked up. And at that point, like I said, you can't really even steer. You can't really do anything. So just send it in too deep.
Ron Edwards will have control of the field when we go back to green. It will be 6 laps to go, just over 3 miles. And Ryan, heads or tails, man? Are we going green for 3 miles or not?
Absolutely not.
Ryan says no. All right, I'll take that action. I'll say that we are going green for 3 miles. Fans, put it in the chat. Are we going green for the next 6 laps, the next 3 miles of racing? Give me a quick yes or no. Give me a hell yeah or a hell no. Give me something. Let's go racing. 6 laps to go in round number 4. Aaron Edwards with control of the field. And a mirror full of Tom Sears. Let's go racing. And let's not go racing. Let's just crash right at the start line. Kyle St. John goes around. And Ryan...
How much do you owe me, Rich?
I owe you a lot. That's... Not only did I lose the bet, that... You know what? Where's the first caution of the race? Can we go back to that moment? Because we went further on the first caution of the race than we went anywhere else. Check this out.
Do you remember how I told you restarting on old tires would be even worse? Connor Knowlton, prime example, number 1 right there.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Can't go to that green flag restart for some reason. Let's try again. All right. Well, I think we've crashed so hard that the replay system doesn't work anymore. So this is what we get. Okay. So what? Green, white, checker now, obviously. So this is going to be the first of 3 attempts. And Ryan, if I'm Jake Bradley, I'm not even trying to win this race anymore. I mean,
no,
I know that
finished.
That's a ludicrous thing to say. You're sitting in 4th and I'm not trying to win. I'm trying to survive. 19 points is not much when Bren Roberts finds himself in 10th. And Bren Roberts' car looks fresh. Well, no, not anymore. He's got a dent on the right front there. But in relation to Jacob Bradley, the 84, who's only 19 points behind that number 50 car, he looks like he can take a lot more hits. So, I don't know. If I'm the 50, let's just make it to the end of the race.
Yeah, and if you're in the top 5 right now, I mean, anything could happen in front of you. The 14 could send it in a little deep, take out himself and the 1, and now you're running, 2nd or 3rd instead of 5th. So this is one of those things where you're trying to get to the end. And I know these drivers are ready to be done with this race. Martinsville is always a tough track.
I think that's the general sentiment, but at the same time, Ryan, not every race is going to be perfect. We pride ourselves on going caution-free. We don't have more than 1 or 2 cautions per race, and that's gone that way for 9 seasons. Every once in a while, we're going to have one of these. We're no stranger to having a bunch of cautions in a race, and this is one of those events. We had a lot of cars at Martinsville, and it happens, but it's part of the challenge, I think, and it's also kind of part of the charm as well, that once in a blue moon, you're going to get these races that are, again, to use that $3 word, tumultuous. They're just outstanding for how many crashes we have. Tom Sears gets into the wall. You saw that too. Look at that. 3 wide through many rows. We stay green, but will we? White flag is coming out this time by Ryan. Aaron Edwards with a win to defend, a rookie in first and second. 10 car. Out of turn number 2, Ethan Winters trying to hold on to second. The rookie, Aaron Edwards, will survive the blender, the melee, the mayhem of Martinsville. Round 4 goes to Aaron Edwards. Ethan Winters in second. They crash at the end, Ryan. Oh my God, 38. Yeah, they're just piling into each other there. Aaron Edwards survives that one, and I think everybody can just finally say, thank God that's over.
Yeah, let's get ready to take these things down to Daytona Beach, and hopefully it won't be like this.
We got to go to Daytona next. We got to go to Daytona after this. Holy cow. 16 of the one of Aaron Edwards will burn it down. A well-deserved win for car number 1. And there we go. Now we can finally hear that thing revving up. And I don't know if he's going to try and do a burnout the whole way around. All right, Ryan and I are going to collect the top 3. We're going to talk to Aaron Edwards, Ethan Winters, and Jake Bradley. We'll be talking to them in a moment. Fans, don't go anywhere. On the podium now with our top 3, Aaron Edwards coming away with the race victory tonight. Let's start with our bronze medalist, though. One, Jake Bradley, the Indiana native, and still the points leader after this blender chewed you up and spit you out. JB, it's 185 to 162 unofficially. Your gap back to Bren Roberts in that second position. Man, how did you survive all of this?
On pit road even. It was a wild race. My first race ever at Martinsville. I didn't think it could get that chaotic, but it certainly did.
Next week at Daytona, you've got a points lead to protect. Is there any strategy there, or is it the same thing 2 weeks in a row? Survive.
Just going to be survive. You got to be there at the end if you're going to get points or the win. So just try and make it to the finish and see where you slide when that time comes.
Congratulations on that third place finish, Ryan. As the broadcast is falling apart all around me, let's try and bring in our second place finisher, Ethan Winters, who finished 17 places higher than where he started.
Yeah, great race, Ethan. I mean, we talked about your paint scheme, awesome paint scheme you had on your car tonight, but tell us about the race. It was a little chaotic, but came home in second. How was your race?
It was you described it well, very chaotic. I started in the back, and it felt like I was involved in just about everything. But you just got to keep grinding for track position. And I feel bad. I spun my friend, just locked it up, trying to hug the bottom. And that's my fault. But other than that, yeah, I feel like I ran a solid race.
Absolutely. Did you have anything for that one car? Or was he just in a different zip code there at the end?
With only 2 laps, I didn't get the best restart, so I knew from that point on I was probably just protecting second place.
Got you. Well, great finish. P2 for you. Good to see you racing out here with us, and hopefully we'll talk to you again next week at Daytona.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Our race winner, the number 1 of Aaron Edwards, the rookie, finally the winner, round number 4, goes to the 1 car. Aaron, same question to JB that I'll pose to you. How did you survive what was a melee at Martinsville?
Yeah, it was pretty chaotic, especially that middle part. But first of all, I want to apologize to the 60 car Withers. I think I was going for a hole that wasn't really there, and he was racing Pressy, and I was faster than them, and I just spun around. That's my fault. I think I probably caused that whole middle part of the race where, there was a bunch of cautions because of my mistake. But, honestly, we just kind of grinded it out, and at the end, we took a risky strategy. I wasn't stayed out on old tires, and I wasn't good on fuel to the end. But I was just kind of banking on a caution, really, because it's kind of hard to save fuel without upsetting the car, especially on old tires. You'll just wreck. I don't want to do that. So I was kind of just banking on caution, and we got that late race caution, and I was just set. Knowlton was wheeling that thing, but he stayed out, and we just took the lead and drove away. It's not easy to win in this car. It's not easy to win in this league. It's so stacked, but I've always wanted a clock. I'm so happy.
You got your clock now, man. You got that iRacing clock. Unofficially into Daytona, you will be 6 points behind Briley Wright, top 5 in points, and hopefully you get that chance to go for 2 in a row next week.
Yeah, thanks. We finally righted the ship. I've had speed all the races, but I kept getting an incident. So we'll go to Daytona and try to win again.
We'll see you in a week's time. Ryan, I'm tired, man. I need a beer, I need a snack, and we have a debrief to do here. Next Wednesday, I'll be on the Aero Broadcast Network broadcasting the ABN Champ Car race from Homestead, and Ryan, you and I will be back for what will be another thriller. More fun and some of the best racing that we're going to see on iRacing. Thursday Night Thunder Round 5 at Daytona.
Yeah, I'll be in the car, so we'll get a little driver commentator action going on, and hopefully I don't end up upside down. But yeah, we're gonna get the 12 car out of the garage next week and see what we can do.
We're going to bet on your odds, too. You best believe it. I'm going to get a hold of FanDuel and DraftKings, and we're going to put betting odds on if you finish the race or not. And worst case scenario, you'll end up in the booth with me, man. But thank you again for coming together for another great race, man. We'll see you in a week's time. And for everybody that had anything to do with this production or any single lap of TNT Racing, thank you. We cannot do this racing without you, and it is our pleasure to bring you our love of racing and sim racing and iRacing itself. And until that next race, everybody stay safe, take care of each other, and we'll see